If I asked you what it takes to succeed, what would you say? Intelligence, hard work, luck, perhaps opportunity, education, or connections. While all of these play a role in one way or another, they are not the foundation, they are not the root, because I've interviewed the titans of industry. I've sat with millionaires who had no college education, with inventors who failed 1,000 times, with leaders who started with nothing but a dream and still built empires. The real difference, the only difference that creates lasting success, is what you focus on. And if you want to succeed deeply, permanently at the core, you must focus on the three most important things: definiteness of purpose, self-discipline, and faith. These are not mere suggestions, they are laws. Spiritual laws, psychological laws, and practical laws. Disregard them, and you will drift. Master them, and you become unstoppable. Let us begin with the first and most vital pillar: definiteness of purpose. A man without a purpose is a ship without a rudder. He is easily blown off course, reacting to every breeze, every current, every distraction. But a man with definiteness of purpose, he is like a guided missile locked onto a target and immune to distraction. You must know exactly what you want. Not generally, not vaguely, exactly. The universe does not reward confusion. It responds to clarity, clarity of desire, clarity of vision, clarity of direction. Ask yourself right now, what is my one definite chief aim? Not 10 goals, not 5 dreams, one. One that dominates all others, one that consumes you. One that wakes you up with fire in your belly and pulls you forward even on the hardest days. Until you decide that purpose, you will live in a state of quiet frustration. You will achieve things perhaps, but they will feel hollow, scattered, disjointed, because without a central aim, your energy is diluted. And diluted energy produces diluted results. Once you know your purpose, you must write it down. See it daily. Speak it aloud. Imprint it into your subconscious mind through constant repetition. When your purpose becomes a part of you, when it is more real to you than your circumstances, then you begin to move with power. You make decisions faster. You say no more easily. You recognize opportunity immediately, because your mind is trained to filter the world through your aim. Definiteness of purpose is not about being rigid. It is about being directed. It gives meaning to your discipline. It gives urgency to your time. It gives clarity to your vision. Without it, your days drift. With it, your life accelerates. But purpose alone is not enough. It must be matched with the second great pillar: self-discipline. This is where most people fail, not because they don't know what to do, but because they don't do it consistently. Success is never a single act. It is the compounded result of daily decisions repeated over time in alignment with your purpose. Self-discipline is the bridge between intention and execution. It is the difference between wishing and winning. It is the quality that transforms dreams into plans and plans into progress. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not exciting. It is often boring, repetitive, thankless, but it is the root of greatness. Without it, talent is wasted. Vision is scattered. Momentum is lost. Ask yourself, what are the 5 things I must do daily to advance my purpose? Then make a vow. I will do these things whether I feel like it or not, whether I'm tired or inspired, whether I'm supported or criticized. That is self-discipline. It is not about punishment. It is about alignment. You are aligning your behavior with your belief. You are aligning your time with your vision. You are aligning your action with your future. And here is the secret. The more you exercise discipline, the easier it becomes, because your subconscious begins to identify you as the kind of man who follows through. And once your identity matches your action, your behavior becomes automatic. Discipline is also about subtraction. Not just what you do, but what you no longer tolerate. You must remove distractions, eliminate noise, starve your weaknesses, kill procrastination. Say no to anything that does not serve your purpose. This is not harsh, it is loving. You are loving your future so much you refuse to compromise it for temporary pleasure. But even purpose and discipline are not enough without the third pillar, faith. And when I say faith, I do not mean blind optimism. I do not mean wishing or hoping. I mean an unshakable belief in a power greater than yourself, a power that responds to thought, a power that multiplies your action, a power that cannot be explained by logic but is confirmed by results. You must believe deeply and absolutely that you are being guided, that your purpose was given to you for a reason, that your desire is divine, that when you align with your calling, the universe aligns with you. Faith is the fuel that sustains you when progress is slow. When doors close, when people doubt you, when fear whispers, it is in those moments that faith must speak louder than fear. Faith says, even though I don't see it yet, I know it's coming. Faith says, even though the evidence isn't here, I will keep moving. Faith says, I was born to do this and nothing will stop me. This kind of faith is not passive, it is active, it is courageous, it is powerful. And here is where most people go wrong. They wait to feel ready before they act. But readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. The winners are not those who felt confident every step of the way. They are those who acted before they felt ready and let faith carry them through the unknown. When you combine these three, definiteness of purpose, self-discipline, and faith, you become dangerous, you become magnetic. You begin to attract people, resources, ideas, and events that align with your mission, not because of luck, but because of law. The law of cause and effect, the law of vibration, the law of attraction. Your energy shifts, your posture changes, your language evolves, and your environment begins to reflect the power you've claimed within. But let me be clear, this is not a one-time event. This is not something you try. This is something you become. You become a man of purpose by living from purpose daily. You become a man of discipline by acting with consistency daily. You become a man of faith by choosing belief daily. And over time, the gap between where you are and where you want to be begins to shrink. Not because the world changes, but because you change. You start walking differently, speaking differently, thinking differently. People will notice. They may not know what changed, but they'll feel it. That's the power of alignment. That's the power of inner congruence. And so, I ask you now, what is your one definite chief aim? What are the non-negotiable disciplines you will practice daily? What belief must you hold, no matter what the outside world shows? Answer these three questions and you will possess more power than most men ever discover in a lifetime. You are no longer searching for success. You are creating it through focus, through alignment, through will. Now that you understand the triad, definiteness of purpose, self-discipline, and faith, you must begin to apply them not only as ideas, but as the very system by which you live. To simply know the truth is not enough. It must become a living, breathing force in your daily experience. So let us deepen each one. Let us apply them, test them, and engrave them into the foundation of your identity so you no longer do success, you live it. Begin with purpose again, because purpose is not something you write once and never revisit. No, purpose evolves, it matures, and it sharpens over time the more it is tested. To truly focus your life around your definite chief aim, you must build every decision, every commitment, and every investment of time through its lens. That means if an opportunity arises that doesn't serve your chief aim, it must be discarded, no matter how tempting. If a relationship, habit, or obligation competes with your purpose instead of complementing it, you must have the courage to remove it. Success is not just about addition, it's about subtraction. And when you say yes to your definite chief aim, you must simultaneously say no to all that distracts from it. Write it where you can see it every day. Speak it aloud every morning. Let it burn into your subconscious. Visualize it with emotional intensity. Feel it, not as a distant goal, but as a reality already in motion. And now ask yourself, what kind of man would naturally live out this purpose? How would he think, speak, walk, and behave? Then act as that man today, not when things are perfect, not when the opportunity is ripe. Now, act as if your future depends on it, because it does. Purpose must be precise. If it's vague, the subconscious cannot engage. You cannot say, I want to be successful. That is unclear. You must say, I will earn X amount by Y date through Z means while serving this kind of person. Give your mind a target. Make it tangible. Make it timed. Make it specific. Because the subconscious does not respond to maybes. It responds to certainty. Let's now intensify self-discipline. Understand this. You are not your habits. You are the architect of them. And the architect can choose what gets built, what gets reinforced, and what gets destroyed. Discipline does not come from motivation. It comes from decision. It is the ability to do what must be done, especially when you don't feel like it. In fact, every time you act when you don't feel like it, you are strengthening your identity as a disciplined man. Discipline is forged in the fire of resistance. You are not weak when you struggle. You are being shaped. Do not run from the difficulty. Use it. Welcome the discomfort. It is proof that your old identity is dying. Ask yourself, where do I compromise? And eliminate it. Discipline is not just what you start doing, it's what you stop tolerating. Tolerating excuses, tolerating average effort, tolerating emotional reactivity. These are all signs that discipline has not yet taken root. Create rituals, systems, triggers for excellence. Make discipline your default, not through pressure, but through design. Wake at the same time each day. Guard the first and last hours. Plan tomorrow before you sleep. Move your body daily. Feed your mind with power. Refuse to negotiate with your standards. This is how the extraordinary becomes ordinary. Through rhythm, through repetition, through commitment so strong that it becomes identity. Discipline becomes a way of thinking. You no longer ask, do I feel like it? You ask, does it serve my vision? This shift alone will separate you from 95% of the population. And now, faith. Not religious dogma, not superficial positivity, real, activated, immovable faith. The kind of faith that does not wait to see, but acts because it knows. Faith is not a passive state. It is a force. It creates. It sustains. It commands reality. What you believe, you begin to become. Not because belief is magic, but because belief dictates behavior, and behavior builds results. If you believe you are called to do something, you will endure what others quit. If you believe the vision is certain, you will ignore distractions that derail others. If you believe the outcome is yours, you will not rush, you will align. And here's the truth. The universe meets you at the level of your faith. A man who believes halfway receives halfway. But a man who moves with full conviction, even when the evidence is missing, becomes magnetic. People sense it, they feel it, they trust it, and circumstances bend to it. Faith is not loud. It does not boast. It does not beg. It stands firm. It acts boldly. It speaks with certainty. And let us not forget, faith must be directed. You cannot simply believe in yourself in general. You must believe in something specific. Believe in your ability to complete your mission, to achieve your goal, to outlast the hardship, to finish the work. Write down what you believe. Speak it aloud. Speak it when you're alone. Speak it in the face of fear. Speak it when no one else does. Train your subconscious to expect success. And understand this, faith is not the absence of fear. It is the mastery of fear. It is saying, yes, the doubt exists, but it does not control me. Every time you choose faith over fear, you claim more ground for your purpose. So now I ask you, do you truly believe in the purpose you've chosen? Do you trust yourself to remain disciplined no matter the circumstance? Do you walk and speak like a man who knows that success is already done in the unseen? This is the standard now. Anything less must be rejected. The man who possesses purpose, discipline, and faith is not ordinary. He does not wait. He does not wish. He decides. He moves. He becomes. And in becoming, he changes not only his results, but his entire experience of life. He experiences peace because his purpose is clear. He experiences power because his actions are consistent. He experiences progress because his belief is unshakable. This man does not need validation. He validates himself through his habits. This man does not fear failure. He uses it as fuel. This man does not envy others. He is too focused on executing his own mission. And if you've listened this far, if you feel the truth of these words, then you are that man in the making. You are no longer chasing success. You are building the life that guarantees it. If you've walked with me this far, you're not looking for surface-level strategies. You're not asking how to stay motivated for a week or how to feel better when life gets hard. No. You're here to master something deeper, to construct a way of living that cannot be shaken by the winds of circumstance, that cannot be broken by temporary setbacks, and that rises above mediocrity with every breath you take. You're here because you've tasted what happens when you live with purpose, when you act with discipline, and when you believe with unrelenting faith. Now, you must learn how to maintain it, how to protect it, how to multiply it. It begins with recognizing a fundamental truth. What you focus on expands. Most men live in a state of distracted urgency, doing too many things, chasing too many goals, absorbing too much noise, and as a result, they live in circles, busy, exhausted, confused. They chase success instead of becoming it. But you are different. You have clarity now. You know what to focus on. So now the question becomes, how do you protect that focus in a world built on distraction? You must build an environment that reinforces your top three priorities: your purpose, your discipline, and your faith. Because no matter how powerful your mindset, if your environment contradicts your vision, your willpower will erode. You need alignment. Ask yourself, does my environment reflect my purpose? What's on your walls? What fills your phone? Who fills your space? What sounds are you hearing every day? Do these elements speak to your greatness or your limitations? You cannot program yourself for success while drowning in mediocrity. The subconscious absorbs everything. It does not filter. So if your world does not remind you daily of who you are becoming, you are passively being pulled backward. Change your space. Create reminders of your purpose everywhere. Leave notes to yourself. Keep your goals in your wallet. Record affirmations in your voice and listen to them daily. Watch nothing that makes you small. Read only that which stretches you. Speak only that which reinforces your identity. Success is not just personal, it is environmental. Now, let's go deeper into execution. You've defined your purpose, you've chosen your disciplines, you've built your faith. Now what? You build momentum. Momentum is the lifeblood of high performance, and momentum begins with consistency, not intensity, not perfect plans, but simple, non-negotiable action repeated every day without excuse. You need what I call a success operating system, a set of micro routines that support the macro vision. When do you wake up? What is the first thing you say? How do you set your mind? What is your first work block? What is your evening shutdown? When these elements are intentional, success becomes a pattern, not a pursuit. You no longer rely on mood, you rely on systems. And let me be very clear here. The man who operates from systems wins over the man who operates from emotion every single time. You must systematize your focus. Build daily checklists, track your core habits, measure what matters, and treat each day like a sacred opportunity to move closer to mastery. Because success is not found in big breakthroughs, it is found in the 1% actions repeated over time while others are distracted. Now, let's speak about resistance. You will be tested. The moment you step fully into purpose, the moment you begin to execute with consistency, resistance will appear. It may look like delay. It may look like rejection. It may look like fatigue. But beneath the surface, it is the natural response of an old identity trying to survive. Understand this. Growth threatens what is familiar, and what is familiar will always fight to stay alive. Do not fear this fight. Do not avoid it. Embrace it. The stronger your resistance, the more proof you have that you are shifting. Do not mistake resistance for failure. It is refinement. When it shows up, say to yourself, this is the price of transformation. This is the test of conviction. This is the gate most men turn away from, but I will walk through it. And walk you must. Because if you retreat when it gets hard, you teach your subconscious that pressure equals pause.